Welcome to Black Culture Talks Presents. Today we're going to learn how to research companies, publicly traded companies. I keep forgetting to look here, but we're going to research publicly traded companies to know if potentially they are sound companies to go onto our watch list. Now, if you are confused about what I'm talking about, you may have to go back and watch part 1, 2, and 3 as we learned and I shared the basics of investing in the stock market for beginners. So we talked about creating a watch list so that we can keep an eye on companies that are appealing to us and we may want to own and put in our portfolio for the long term. So with that being said, let's just get started. Hey, Clodo, welcome back. I love your commitment. I love your consistency is what I'm trying to say. Thank you for joining. And if anyone's watching this replay, go ahead and put any questions that you may have in the comment section below, and I will do my best to get back to you. But let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to walk through 2 companies that I think will be easy examples to understand how to do your research, okay? So let me go ahead and go back to sharing my screen. And this is, unfortunately the wrong cover, but it's all good. So let's go to present. And hopefully it will eventually allow me to present. I don't know what's going on, but they don't want us to be great. But we learned about recognizing certain things about a company in order to make smart decisions on should you invest in the company. And the size, the return potential, and risk are all essential when it comes to selecting these companies for your portfolio. I'm going to see if this allows me to present now. Sorry, y'all. For some reason, it's not allowing me to go to the big screen. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and try to take it out of there. Okay, we're going to go to the home page and come back in. Did it not save my, there we go. Okay. So let's start this once again, of course, Murphy's Law. There we go. So recognizing the relationship between company size, return potential, and risk is essential when selecting investments for your portfolio. We talked about the beginner's toolkit. These are 5 resources that will make your life easier when trying to research companies. So once you put those companies down that you're interested in, we talked about, how to do that. And if you need an investment plan workbook, go ahead and sign up for our email list. The next round will be going out this weekend. And so you'll have a workbook where you can keep yourself honest, you could refer to, and it will be a reference point for you to keep track of whatever companies you're interested in. So these are the 6 resources that I highly recommend and I use often when it comes to researching companies. And of course, there's others. And as you get deeper and more involved in your investment journey, then I can share those or we'll talk about those. But to start, we want to look at CNBC Google Finance, Yahoo Finance, Bar Chart, definitely the company's website, and Investopedia.com. I also say Bloomberg, but I don't want anyone paying for a service just yet if you're a beginner. The community is strong, y'all. We are out here trying to keep each other honest on our journey towards generational wealth, not just today, tomorrow, but generational wealth. So your children, their children, your nieces, their nieces will not have to struggle the way some of us did. And so if you want to support the community, links are in the description below as well. Get your woke gear. Become a part of the woke community. And woke just means wealth is obtained through knowledge and education. And then phase 2 of that is the execution. And you can join us for the execution part by becoming either a member of the woke community, descriptions are below, securing an accountability call with me, at least one will get you part of the community. The community is exclusive and private. We talk about, our personal finances and journey. So we cannot have no bots or people that aren't serious about their investment journey part of that. So as we talked about preparing our watch list, we talked about diversification, and I'm just bringing this up as a recap really quick because this is going to be part of your research journey, and we're going to look that up in a couple seconds. So give me a second. We want to know what size company, because you want a diverse watch list. You want some large cap, some mid cap, and some small cap. So understand large cap companies that are worth 10 billion or more, mid cap 2 billion to 10 billion, small cap 300 million to 2 billion. So we talked about creating your top 10 to 20 stocks that you would like to invest in. And the reason why I say 10 to 20 is because when you're first starting, you don't know how much stocks are going to cost. You don't know much about the company yet, but you want your list to be companies that you have an affinity towards. So put down 10 to 20 companies that you use regularly, that you think are going to be around for a long time, that you wouldn't mind saying, I own this company, and that's how you start your watch list. Now, we're going to get into doing the research and the beginner components besides the category, which we also discussed. We discussed diversification as it relates to categories. So you don't just want to look at tech companies. You don't just want to look at finance companies. You don't just want to look at automotive or real estate. You want to have a blend, a nice hodgepodge, so to speak, of companies on your watch list. But once you get that watch list, then you're going to take those ticker symbols. This is part of your woke investment plan. You're going to keep track or write down the market cap and outstanding shares, and you're also going to look at their historic price performance. The history does not guarantee where the stock will go, but it gives you a clear understanding on how its past performance has been. So, with mostly anything, if you don't know your history, right? If you don't know the history, there's no way you can even gauge or try to understand what the future will look like. So again, you want to know the company, you want to write down the market cap, you want to know the past performance, the price performance, the ranges of the stock over the past 3, 5, and 10 years. Remember, we are long-term investors. So we're not looking for what happened just this year or last year. We're looking truly at minimum 5 to 10 years, but 3 years, we get a gauge. We want to know if that's when the stock just, came to life. We want to know how it's fared during the past 2 years, which have been interesting. So let's just move on. I'm going to start off, and print it out because let me stop sharing for a second. Hey, Monica, welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you back as well. Listen, I am so on a mission for everyone to just be rekindled to this message. I know, a lot has happened. I have had a lot of things going on. For those of you that don't know, I'm in the process of finalizing my Mexican residency, but not full time. So let me just, not full time, but I do want to be able to spend time other places, and Mexico is one of those places. And so hopefully within the next 5 to 6 weeks, it will be final. And so I've been all over the place too, but I truly want us to stay committed to this movement and this mission to get our reparations. So yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start with the CNBC. Thank you, Clodo. I appreciate that. Thank you. So happy. I will definitely do a video once it's done. I did my part 1 because I'm also, my channel is committed to talking about wellness, travel, and finances. And when it comes to travel, we're not talking weekend getaways. Like, I want to make sure that we trade, we make sure we set ourselves up where we don't have to spend all our time working. Time is the most valuable asset we have. We need to spend as much of it doing what we want. And the way we do that is through freedom. And the way we get freedom is through assets. So anyway, let's get on to the first example. So we're going to walk through, and I haven't done it yet. So this would be my first time looking at Nike in a minute. We're going to start with Nike. If anyone has an example, I'll take one of yours as well. But let's just go ahead and start with Nike. And so I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. And there's links to my presentation. And if anyone needs a presentation, please put it in the chat. And Monica, I have your information. I'm going to send it out. Not this weekend, but next week, I'm going to resend the presentation to everyone on the email list. And if you're in the Facebook group, because you're OG, then I will repost it there as well. So you don't, if we're connected, then you don't have to worry about commenting. Okay, so let me go ahead and share again. For some reason, I'm still getting used to StreamYard. I don't even know if you guys can see me. No, you can't. It says share screen. I'm trying to share the screen. Windows. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's go to present. It's going to kick me out once I hit this link. But we're going to start with CNBC. I hope you can see that. Let me see. Nope, you can't. There we go. Can I put myself in the corner? Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let me go and put in Nike. And because, it's one of the stocks I invest in, it's one of the stocks I've been researching for a while. I know the ticker, which I want everyone to start learning their stock tickers, their preferred stock tickers. Nike is NKE. And so the great thing about CNBC, it gives you a lot of information at a glance. And I'm just going to walk you through some of the key information that you want to look at. So we'll start with the summary, right? The summary is going to give you all the information about today, all the information about the last year, but it's also going to give you the market cap of the company. And that is important to know what category of company Nike is. So with the $174 billion, I want you to tell me if that is large, small, or medium cap. If you can hear me, put it in the chat. I'm not going to answer it. Put it in the chat and I will respond. It also shows the chart for the day, which we're not interested in, daily information, but you can change it to see what the last year has looked like. You can also change, well, that's year to date, excuse me. You can change it to see what the past 12 months, full 12-month calendar has looked like. And you can see, just like most stocks, there's been some turbulence, but I look at turbulence as great opportunity, especially as it relates to the stock market. And so looking at the 5-year, you see how this stock moves. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. But we're going to use bar chart to get the 3, 5, and 10-year information. I think it's 10. But you see how the stock moves. For a lot of years, it was very, very flat as the company was growing. And then, I don't know what happened. It could have been Jordan. The company took off, right? And it's still pretty much so if you would have invested back in, what is this, 2000, the stock price was, what, $4 and change? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, what a steal. As the company was in a growth stage, before the company got into a growth stage. But let's go back to the summary information. The year-to-date change, it's minus 33%, which is on par for the overall market. I think we're down 34% overall. So Nike is lockstep in line with the S&P 500, which is the reference point for how the market is doing. And so definitely in good company, let's just say that. And even with the turbulence that we're facing as a country, the world right now, things will not always be like this. So let's skip. What I want you to do is wherever you see sponsored content or content from our affiliates, skip by that. Someone's paying to have this information on that page, and it's kind of like an ad, so we don't pay attention to those. But let's also see that the company provides dividends. Now, we didn't talk about that in the first part of basics of investing in the stock market, but we will as you get more advanced. Dividend payouts, although may not, 34 cents is not a whole lot of money, but once you reinvest that, add the compound interest to that, listen, it's free money. Don't complain about it. And so, so let's just go down to the news. It also gives you, or we're going to go to the news. We're going to talk about what the analysts are saying. I'm sorry, y'all. So when it relates to the top analysts who do all the research about the health of a company, when it comes to sites like CNBC and the ones that I've listed, it's okay. The bar chart, it's okay to put some weight into what they're saying, especially when you see that the overwhelming majority of these analysts are saying it's either a hold, a buy, or a strong buy, with the majority saying that it's between a buy and a strong buy. So just put that in your notes. Consensus is buy or greater, buy or strong buy. Only 2 analysts say they are going to sell, or they recommend selling, or it's underperforming. So if you want to know who their competitors are, it will show you that as well. So we see Adidas, Skechers, Deckers, Crocs, and Steve Madden. So let's just say, and that's good information, because say you're interested in Nike, right? But Nike, you see, is $115 or $114. You may look and say, oh, let's see what Adidas is doing. You may want to add them to a separate list, like a competitor list, and research them if it's more in your price bracket. And let's say you want to buy 10 shares, right? You have $600 to spend. You want to buy 10 shares of a company, or $650 to spend. You may want to look at Adidas or Skechers, but you want to make sure that the company is sound before investing. So once you got that information, you want to just quickly look at news on CNBC. There's other news sources, but we can start with CNBC. So, oh. So nothing 7 hours ago. This is from affiliates, so I don't want you guys looking at that. I don't want you guys. We're going to get more news from bar chart in a second. It also has financials here, so you can find out their profit and loss, and that's usually tells you the total assets that they have. And I think this should be in billions, but the total assets versus the total liabilities. And then it will give you, oh, here it is. And it tells you how much cash as well. And that's very important, because you always want to make sure a company has cash on hand, that they're not only operating with debt. You want to make sure that there's cash on hand. That signals the strength of a company too. So, yeah, and I know you guys said this definitely comes out. So it tells you the total assets. You see it's all positive. It's not in the negative. If you start seeing numbers in the negative as it relates to assets, and you could tell it's negative because it's in parentheses, you may want to skip to the next company. So yeah, so that's just to quickly show you CNBC as one of your resource tools to use when you're researching a company. Google Finance, a lot of people like, because it is in an easy to read format, and I'm going to quickly walk you through. Oh, Monica, you said large, so you needed it larger. Oh, large. Oh, yes, you answered the question. I forgot about that. Congratulations, Monica. Let me go ahead and show the people. Ding, ding, ding. Monica got the answer of what size company. And if we went into the mega and the micro, but we're not going to do that. But she got the answer right. It's a large cap company. You may hear some people say, oh, mega cap. Anyway, let's move on to the Google Finance. And some people like the clean version of Google Finance, and I'm going to just pull up Nike again and show you what it looks like compared to CNBC. And the great thing is, once again, the first thing you see is the chart, and you can go to 1 year, same information. You can go to 5 year, and you could go to max. So that's the information that they have available. And so that starts in 1983 when it was, a penny stock, as we would say. And so the other beautiful thing about Google Finance is that it gives you very nice scrollable news tips. So you could decide what is important to you, what isn't. And it goes all the way back. I want you to see that it goes all the way back to 1997. So let's go to Nike shares tumble on this date, which was September 30th, 2022. And again, nothing uncommon, nothing uncommon for 2022. A lot of stocks tumbled. Today, Nike stocks fall, underperforms the market. and unfortunately or fortunately that happens. But the great thing about when stocks fall, like I said, they call it blood in the streets, and you could go ahead and take advantage of it, especially when they're solid companies. To Business Insider is saying 2023 could be the year of Skechers, Crocs, and Hey Dude, not Nike. Don't, again, if you do your research, and I'm going to show you another story. We're going to go to the Nike website, and I'm going to show you, and I'm sure it's there because it's been all over the news. So we're going to go to their website and show you some very interesting information that they have coming up on the pipeline. Nike Jordan Brands to open its first flagship in Milan. Nike stock is tipped by Citi for rally after earnings. This was a day ago. See, so it depends upon what you read. You just really have to put less stock into all of these news story and more stock into your own research. So yeah, Fast Company, Nike's new platform, D-Swoosh, will sell virtual sneakers for $50. What does that mean for the company? That's another way to generate income and revenue and a profit, especially with so many people being so into this metaverse world, right? And so let's quickly look to the side. You'll see that it gives you the day's close, the day's range, the previous day's close, the range for today, the yearly range. So the low was $82, the high was $171. This tells you that, the company can go as high as 170, 119, and maybe higher. So where it is now, it's not at its all-time high because we do not buy stocks at their all-time high. The market cap, once again, thank you, Monica, for letting us know it's a large cap company. And also, it gives you information about the company, the CEO, the year it was founded, where its headquarters, and the website. And the website directly to investor information. But we're not going to go use this. We're going to go on Nike.com and get there ourselves. So it gives you a great bit of information about the company. So let's go ahead and move on to, we're not going to do Yahoo Finance. It's similar. If we have time at the end, I'll show you. But again, it's just a matter of preference. Actually, I will show you. Quickly, I'll go to Yahoo Finance just to show you visually. We're not going to go through a stock in depth, but it shows you it. I am going to pull up Nike just so you can see visual. I want to rush through this, but it gives you great news information. Again, stay away from anything that says ad, because someone paid to have that information on the website. But you want to be able to just see, if you want to see what the Nike is doing here. Once again, a lot of the same information that we saw before. It's just, your preference. And it tells you what people are also looking at here. So if you go to Nike, a lot of the Nike investors are also invested in Starbucks, Visa, Disney, Walmart, and Costco. Those are stable companies. Those are on the S&P 500, except, they're all on the S&P 500. And so, those are companies that most people are confident next year, the year after, 10 years from now, will probably still be around. And so here's a market watch story where it says AMD, Nike, Zillow among UBS, which is a major bank, stock pick with the highest conviction for 2023. So again, you have one analyst saying, Nike's the only company that's not going to do well in its competitive set. And then you have this story where it's, completely contradictory. So similar to Nike, once again, it gives you a list of it gives you a list of companies that are, excuse me, y'all, that's my phone, in the same competitive set. So so I don't want to spend too much time because we or just using those sites as resources. If you don't like CNBC, you may like Yahoo Finance. If you don't like Yahoo Finance, you may like Google Finance. And that's pretty much what it comes down to, but you can get the same information from all three sites. Okay, so let's close out of these. And I'm going to take you to, where do we want to go first? Let's go to the company's website first, just simply because, let me stop sharing for a second. So let's go to the company's, we're going to go to Nike's website for a second so that we can go to what was it that I wanted to show you? Oh, all of the news stories that they have on their site. And I hope you guys can see me. Hopefully this light has started going a little dim. But so let's go to Nike's website. Okay. Okay. Now let me share. Windows. Here we go. Jeez. Okay. I think you can see that. Yeah. Nope. Okay. There we go. So now we're on Nike's website. And the first things you're going to see is everything that they want you to buy for the holidays or any other time of year. But we don't care about any of this. We're trying to invest. We're not trying to consume. We're trying to get some assets, not liabilities. So we want to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And this is most websites. You may have to go all the way down to the bottom where you'll find an About Me section. And when it comes to like learning more about their financials, you want to go to the investors tab. But we're going to start off at the news. So we're in Nike Inc. newsroom and it's loading. And here you'll find the most up-to-date news stories about the company. It goes straight from their press room onto their website. And it gives it to you from the horse's mouth. And the latest release was on December 11th, where it talked about Jordan Wings is expanding into the Philippines. That shows you expansion with the company, that they're moving into other countries. And as we get more deeper into learning how to research companies, global companies are important to look at, because if something happens in one country, you need another country to help hold it up, right? And so we're not going to talk about that too much, but just knowing that there are talks of expansion, you want to look at key phrases, keywords, and you could dig deeper into these articles, but this is just a great starting point. Now, with Gripnik technology, I have no clue what that is, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to Google Gripnik to figure out what that means for this company, right? With Gripnik technology, the Nike Phantom GX takes precision to the next level. Listen, got me interested. I will be checking this out later and then putting that maybe as one of my reasons why I want to invest more or invest less. It's up to you based on your goals and your objectives, what these news stories from the horse's mouth mean for you in your investment journey. Nike is investing in inclusive community organizations across Europe to address inequality in sports. And that was from December 8th. So not even a full week ago. And so this is information that I'm interested in. And I like, you know, companies that take diversity and inclusion and equality to heart, and not only to heart, but it's part of their mission, and they execute upon their mission. So December 5th, Converse Cons release skate video As You Wish. For those of you that don't know, Converse is a division of Nike. And so, you know, you'll find that out through your research as well. Nike times Billie Eilish, AF1 low. So again, Billie Eilish is like, I guess, I don't know if she's the biggest or Taylor Swift, but one of them are like the biggest artists, right? And so to have partnerships with people like that is similar to, you know, the sports world, with Nike having the Jordan brand and partnerships with big athletes. And so this is where you're going to get some great insight as to, you know, the company, the health of the company, or is there opportunity for growth? Because you want to look for growth, and you want to know that they're you know, spending money in technology and becoming more technologically advanced. You also want to see that their website is not a afterthought, you know, that they're putting money into this form of communication, which everybody uses, and you can see that clearly here. And so there's a lot of Nike stories, and I want to go next to the investor tab, where you can get more information. Now, you really don't have to be a geek. You really don't have to spend a lot of time here. Listen, I love this website. Wow, I didn't even realize this. So Serena is absolutely one of my favorite people in the world. But Nike Inc. is a growth company. We create, innovate, must-have products. We build deep personal connections with consumers, and we deliver an integrated marketplace with compelling retail experiences. If you haven't been, so I live in New York. I'm not sure that every city has this, but if you have the chance to go to a real Nike store, not the outlet, a real Nike store where you can create your own sneakers, where you can create, it's mesmerizing. And so their website is just so innovative and something that just, you know, makes you want to learn more. And so it gives you quarterly earnings, which again, you can look up on your own, but let's quickly go through. It goes through investors news. It gives a breakdown of the latest investor news. Nike announces second quarter fiscal 2023 earnings and conference call. You could go there and listen to the conference call. Nike announces 11% increase in quarterly dividends. Like, if you're a dividend investor, then that's very important to you, where a lot of companies are taking away dividends. They're increasing their dividends. And again, you get a lot of sound bites, a lot of quick information about the company. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time here. You can also look at some of their information, their quarterly reports on video as well. They also have annual reports, and you can read the shareholder newsletter. You could read oh, well, the proxies, the votes that you get to have, you can read about that. And there's just so much information that is contained on this website. And these are the type of companies you want to look for. Events and presentation, what's upcoming. On the 20th of this year, you're going to get the Q2 fiscal year of 2023 earnings release. And for those who are interested or a numbers person, go ahead and, you know, plan your day accordingly, plan the 20th accordingly to get that information. But you can always come back and get the information once they repost it. They also let you know their SEC filing. So we didn't talk about that, but public companies are obligated to expose anything that is related to their stocks, rather they're gifting stocks, where they're shifting stocks from one executive to another. All of that information has to be documented, and you will find all that information here. And so, yeah, so that's pretty much how you use a website to find out information about a company. I want you to go ahead and whatever company it is, using it, you know, take time and play around with it. And again, it doesn't have to be a long drawn out process. I'm walking through it with you step by step. You're doing this once a year, right? Once you do your research is done. You really don't have to come back and do the research again. You're going to put your alerts for the companies, right? If there's something huge that happens with the company, you'll get an alert, but you do not have to do this research more than once. And you can take 2 hours out of a week and get 3 companies done easily. And that's giving you extra time as a beginner. But you really can do this research in like 15 minutes. So yeah. So let's go to the next. We're going to go to the next link. How come? There's just too many steps with StreamYard. I have to see if this is my jam or if I'm going to stick with Zoom. We're going to see. Okay, so I'm going to share. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on a second. Oh, hi, M. Dickens. Nice to have you here. So good for you to join. Whatever you missed, you can always watch the replay. I'm just going over the research portion of how to pick good companies for your stock portfolio. And next up, we're going to look at bar chart. As soon as I can share the screen. Hold on a second. Okay. Present. Share screen. Share screen. Windows. Okay. It's a lot of steps when I stop sharing. So let's go back to the presentation part. So we're going to go to bar chart, which is one of my favorite resources because it gives not only information, but links to different places. So if you see something, you don't have to come out of the screen, and I'll show you what that looks like. But bar chart is one of my favorite tools, and it's also where you'll get the historical information. So sticking with Nike, look at this. It's just so beautiful. So on the left of bar chart, it gives you a whole lot of information. It gives you everything from technical, you ads too, if you have the free version, but the free version is fine. If you trade options, it gives you that. It gives you all the news headlines for the company, key statistics, SEC filings, competitors, stock comparisons, inside trades, analyst earnings and estimates, analyst ratings, financial summary, income statements, balance sheet, and cash flow. It's truly a one-stop shop, really. It also gives you the analyst visual ratings, right? So, and it breaks it down. 16 believe that Nike's a strong buy. 3 moderately believe it's a buy. 8 believe it's a hold. No one is saying it's a. So this is 27 analysts, 27 analysts offering their recommendations. And these are reputable analysts that work at major firms. But the 8 that say hold, that's still not a bad thing. There's no one there saying sell, right? So, this is just a great at a glance website. Now, if you want to get into the information that is super important that we talked about, you can go scroll down. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even mention the chart. So they also have the chart, right? They have the chart that we looked at before, same charts, same information. And up here, don't pay attention to this where it says week buy. That's for people who are short-term or options traders or technical traders. This is not long-term investing information, so ignore that. Let's scroll down and see what information it gives you. This market capitalization information that you have to write down so you know that it's large cap, medium cap, small cap. It gives you the shares outstanding, annual sales, annual income, All this other information is advanced. I don't want you to worry about that. You're looking for basic information. So we really want to just know how strong this is from basic information. It gives you, again, commercials. It gives you an area where you can start looking at the historical price performance. Now, when you look on the screen initially, it's going to give you the 1 month, 3 month, and only up to a year. But you click here and it says see more. You want to click see more. And that's, oh, shoot. Am I not sharing? Oh, Miss Dickens, we're going to do that again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The screen, my gosh, what is, oh, because you have to do add. So let me just quickly run through what I just ran through with my apologies. Thank you for noticing. So as I mentioned, we are looking at Nike. Let me go back to the first page of bar chart. This is Nike with the commercials on bar chart because we have the free version. We're not paying attention right here where I'm circling, where it says technical opinion. Technical opinion has nothing to do with long-term investing. So this is only for people who are looking for short-term strategies. They give their evaluation and input on if you should buy or sell. Don't worry about that. But again, on the left-hand side where this arrow is where you get all at a glance, all the information that you would ever need, from news and headlines to key statistics to SEC filings, which we saw on the Nike website. I always like to go to the website because that information is the most up to date, but it's usually not that far behind with bar charts. So competitors, you want to know the key competitors, stock comparisons, inside trades. You know what? I'm going to try to do this again where we really break down a company but for the sake of time, I kind of just want to do the research that we review. Also the financial summary, the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow. And I'm so praying that you can see that. Yes, you can. Okay, great. And so the chart is here. We're going to scroll down. Here's the fundamentals with the market capitalization, the shares outstanding, which is information that is necessary when, we're doing our preliminary research, which is on the page and document that we reviewed in the investment workbook, the Woke investment plan workbook. So this is where we saw what the analysts are saying, 27 analysts, 16 strong buy, 3 moderate buy, 8 hold. And then this is where the historical performance is. So as I mentioned, you can only see up to 52 weeks, but there's an area here, which once you hover and it changes colors, you click it and it says see more. And that's going to give you the longer term information that we're looking for. So you scroll down and I said we started 3 weeks, right? 3 years, and it's going to give you the performance all the way to the right. So if you look at since in 3 years, since December 16th, 2019, Nike has delivered almost a 13% return. It's up 13%. But look, if you invested 5 years ago, it's a 78% return. If you would have invested 10 years ago, good God, goodness gracious. Let me get out of it. I just want to do a clean screen. It's over 300% return. And guess what? 2002, if you would have invested then, you would have received an almost 2,000% return on your investment. And this is why long-term is the most powerful tool. The most powerful tool. And if they may be saying, oh, I don't have 20 years or to invest or whatever, I want to, I only have 10 years or whatever, look at the 10-year mark. Where else are you going to make 337% return? Now, again, this is not every stock. This is not every company, but this is why we do research, and we place value on those companies that are positioning themselves for the future, not the ones that are staying stagnant, right? And so we're also, I do want to do a quick review of like ETFs. I'm going to do that completely separate, but as it relates to investing in the stock market, and buying individual stocks, before you buy an individual stock, this is the information that you want to see. And this is why this is, one of my favorite resources, bar chart, because it has so much in an easily digestible way. Like it's so easy. Like if you look to the left, let's just quickly go over and see what the news and headlines are for Nike. So hold on a second, you guys. Hold on. Gonna mute for a second. Okay, I am back. I'm back. Okay, so yes, so please tell me, or was I not sharing that either? Oh my gosh, I hope I was. Let's go back to the presentation. I don't know why this keeps freezing. But anyway, so here's the news. Hopefully you can see this. Let me see. No, it's, oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so I think StreamYard may be a no for me, because there's just too many things that you have to do in order to share. Okay, so let's go back to, here we go. Here we go. Bar chart. Here we go. So yeah, so here's, I don't know if you saw how I got to bar chart, but we went over the 3-year return at 12%, almost 13%. Here's the 5-year return at 78.3%. Here's the 10-year return at 337%. And here's the 20-year return at 1,930%. And so again, emphasizing why long-term is the best term, right? People can, make money short-term, but long-term, it's the least, if you're risk adverse, then this is the type of strategy that you should implement. Okay, and so I wanted to go to the news. So if we scroll down and look to the left under company, you see news and headlines. You click it. It talks about all the latest news stories about Nike, where Nike is even mentioned. And you can take your time to, read through it and see, Stocks to buy before they take off. That stuck out for me. Why Nike stock sprinted higher today? It gives slight tidbits of information on what some of the analysts are thinking about the company. If you want to see what the financial summary looks like, let's go take a look at that really quick. And it gives you the income statement. It gives you comparison for net income versus sales. Again, if you're not into, all of this financial stuff, then that's fine. But you do want to see what their operating cash flow is. And in 2022, it's way higher than it was in 2018, way, way higher than 2022, a little less than 2021, but still, I believe this is this in the trillions? 51888. So that's 5 billion. So yeah. So again, wanting to know that you are operating with a cash flow. There was a negative change, but I'm sure most balance sheets, maybe not Apple's, or maybe Apple's as well, because of the war, everything that's going on. Anyway, this is a great resource to use, and I totally wouldn't mind if you just only use this. Now, the last site I'm going to show you is, let's say you're looking through this and you're like, what is operating cash flow? Let's go to another site that is part of the toolkit that I completely think is gold, right? And so I'm going to share that. Oh, it's being shared. Okay. Hey, Evelyn, nice to see you. And I hope I'm saying that right. Evelyn, yes. Okay. Or maybe it's Evelyn. So we're on investopedia.com, and after we do Investopedia, if you have any questions, please put them down. But I'll show you why I like Investopedia, and I think you will too. Even from the basic beginning stages, Investopedia has such a robust concentration of financial information that almost everything you need, I venture to say everything, but almost everything you need is contained in this on this site. So if you want education, like, they have educational tools here as well. Some of them are for free. Some of them are dated, so you have to be careful. Some of them are really dated in this academy, but you can check it out. So let's see what operating cash flow comes up. And look at here. So you see right here, operating cash flow, OCF, the definition, and cash flow statements. Voila. You don't know what something means, you come to Investopedia, you put it in the search bar, and it will tell you. And it's so easy to understand. Operating cash flow, also known as OCF, is a measure of the amount of cash generated by a company's normal business operations. Operating cash flow indicates whether a company can generate sufficient positive cash flow to maintain and grow its operation. Otherwise, it may require external financing for capital expansion. We like companies that have positive operating cash flow. And it gives you the key takeaways. We won't go through all of that, but it also lets you know how to understand it better. And as much info, how to present it, if you need to direct like, it just gives you more information than you probably need if you're just looking for a definition, but great resource to have. And so, with that, I'm going to stop sharing. We went through the toolkit. I'm going to stop sharing this page. And then we're just going to go back to the toolkit really quick. And then we will be done. So, so once again, write it down in your notes. Again, if you're on the email list, I will be sending the key information from the full 3-week presentation via email next week. I have it on I think it's next week. It might be this weekend. Next week. If it's not this weekend, it's next week. But again, write down CNBC, Google Finance, Yahoo Finance, bar chart, the company's website, and Investopedia as you start your research journey to figure out what companies you want to invest in. And again, I highly, highly, highly recommend you picking the one that works for you. There's not one right answer, one wrong answer. I like bar chart a lot. I also like Google Finance, but bar chart has more robust information and the type of information I need, because I also, as I mentioned, I trade. But outside of trading, just for research purposes, if you want to know who the CEO is of a company, everything's just right there for the asking, or for the not even asking, for the tapping. Yeah. And so just want to leave you with some words of inspiration. Reinforcement is key. Repetition is the grandfather of learning. So don't think that if you saw this information one time, it's supposed to stick and it's your first time. Watch it as much as possible. Share it. Again, have conversations with people, and understand that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world and change your life. That's a complete quote from, well, he didn't say the change your life part, but that's the quote from Nelson Mandela, Madiba. And it's so true. Another, we talked about wealthy people invest first and spend what's left. Broke people spend first and invest what's left. Let's change that. Let's make a dent in that. Let's find a way to up our investing game and stop with this spending, overspending. Like, it is just unfortunate that our community has been brainwashed into thinking that, things are better than assets. And, many people don't focus enough on execution. If you make a commitment to get something done, you need to follow through on that commitment. And this is a quote from the great Ken Chenault, who was the CEO of American Express for many, many years, the first Black CEO, and I think the longest running CEO, if I'm not mistaken. So go ahead and start to execute. Like, don't keep talking about it, and don't get into analysis paralysis. I'd rather you find one company that you're ready to invest in right here, right now, this year, or early, I'll say this year, and go ahead and make that move. Buy one stock, start with one stock, start with a fractional share of a stock, but just go ahead and start. And then, find the next company, and then find the next company. But don't think you have to find 10 or 20 companies to invest in at one time. If you know a company that you love, that you really, really want to be a part of, go ahead and make that commitment now. And now that you are interested, it's time to be consistent. Monica, thank you for being consistent. Clodo, thank you for coming back. Evelyn, thank you for coming back. That's the beginning of consistency, man. It's like and even if listen, it doesn't even have to be from me, right? It does not have to, the information does not have to come from me, but please make sure you stay consistent in your journey to learn. And that's the way we're going to change this wealth gap. And I just hate, because it sounds like such a buzz phrase and a catchphrase, but it is so dire that we really, really need to make changes. If you have birthday gifts or Christmas gifts or any type of gifts to give this holiday season or coming up, think about giving the gift of stocks in companies that are sound, starting a custodial account for the young ones. And that's, what I really, and when you do, let me know, send me a message, let me know, like, I did this. It makes my heart sing when I get that type of feedback. And I know that someone has been inspired. And so again, It's never too late. I read that quote in the last class, part 3, by Gabriella, who leads the Latino Wall Street investment, and I forgot the exact name of her club. But again, it's never too late. You only have to commit to starting now. Okay. And with that being said, guys, let me stop sharing, see if there's anything else. Okay. So sorry about the sharing snafus. Ms. M. Dickens, you're welcome. I said hi to Eveline, and then I guess, or Evelyn. I don't know what you're saying yes to, but hopefully, oh my gosh, hopefully I got it right. And again, all the ways to contact me or the club, to join the community are in the description below. I will be back a few times. I have another, that's right. Saturday is my frequently asked questions session, and I will be posting. So I've been doing this for over, started in February 2021. So it'll be 2 years in February. So of course, there's been a lot of beginner questions. What I want to do, because sometimes we don't think about the questions, but we have the same questions that other people have. So on Saturday, go ahead and hit the notification bell on the Saturday session that we're going to have. And I'm just going to go over the top frequently asked questions that most beginner investors have. And hopefully it will be helpful for you. And again, I'm going to come back and do an ETF review. I want to get as much while I have the time. I leave town in a couple of weeks, but while I have the time, I want to make sure I get all this information out to the community, and that, we move together. We move together, and we deserve. Let's normalize Black investors that did not graduate with an economics degree, that does not work on Wall Street, that it looks like me, you, and every other, I'm just going to say regular, because we're not, part of the financial. I don't know about anyone watching, but, I don't work in finance. And so let's normalize investing across our community. It's for everyone. It's not rocket science. I have an accountability call with my own investing club at 7:00. So I am going to have to jump off, but thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you Saturday and later in the week. Okay, guys, take care. Have a good night, everyone. Good night.